We are Zoe
and Sirazul,
Standard Bay County Theatre's associate artists, and we are discussing
unveiling Bradford's Rohingya community,
the untold stories of Sirazul Islam and 3 generations. Hi Sirazul.
Hi Zoe.
Do you want to tell me a little bit about who you are and what you're doing in Bradford?
Yeah, I've lived in Bradford for the past 17 years of my life, which is a very significant portion of my life. And yeah, I'm a very proud Bradfordian. I would say bred in Bradford, so know Bradford through and through, and it's the only place I call home at the moment.
And what are you doing in Bradford?
Quite a few things at the moment. One already, being an associate artist for Standard Bay County Theatre. Also the youth advocate for the British Rohingya community based out in Bradford. And we have the largest Rohingya population in all of Europe. And then on a more personal level, I am going to start being a trainee solicitor in a few months.
Oh, I didn't know that about you. Excellent. So, Sirazul, you haven't always lived in Bradford.
No.
You've lived in Bradford for the most part of your life, but where was the beginning?
The beginning was, very, very distant now, but it's always close to my heart. For me, the beginning was a refugee camp in Bangladesh called Kutupalong Refugee Camp. It's the largest refugee camp in the entire world. I was born there and I lived there for 8 years before I moved to the UK.
And your family, before going to the refugee camp, where were they?
So my family, before I was born in the refugee camp, they migrated or they escaped genocide from Myanmar, which was also known as Burma. And we are ethnically Rohingya, a very small minority in Burma, and we come from a state called the Rakhine State or Arakan State, and my family have lived there for centuries and generations on generation until late 80s, where there was a genocide and they had to move into the refugee camps across to Bangladesh.
Did all your family leave Burma or Myanmar?
Not all, some. So my immediate family left, but because we had an entire life in Burma, we lived there for centuries. As we said, we had land, we had cattle, we had many things to still look after and call home. So my uncle and my auntie from my father's side, they lived there, and they stayed back to take care of the land until 2017, when there was a bigger and a large scale of genocide that took place, and they had to leave as well. And
so childhood, what are your childhood memories from the refugee camp in Bangladesh?
Quite a few. So I would like to say I was quite an active person or a child in the refugee camp, and yeah, I'm speaking with the benefit of hindsight, but I think one thing we know is when I was a child in the refugee camp, because it's enclosed, so the camp is all I knew. So there was no cars, no nothing. So people walking around, running around. It was sand everywhere. My houses were built out of bamboo sticks and tents and plastic. So you can imagine what I like to call the freedom in an open space prison, and yeah, it's an oxymoron, but for me as a child, it was the only thing I knew, which was the inside of a camp, so I couldn't compare it to the outside, which I can do now. And so life for me as a refugee child, it was very limited and basic, but the fact is it was survival. So having a meal a day was seen as amazing or great, or having to share a toilet or a bathroom with say 50 other people didn't seem like it was wrong at the time. But now when I know, it's like this is not how humans should live. So very fond memories about being able to run around and, the entire camp and not fear getting run over by a car. But also when I look back and I think back, because the refugee camp still exists now, it was an open air prison.
And I seem to remember you mentioning that there's some members of your family still there.
Yeah. I have so the only people who came with us to the UK are me, my immediate siblings, and my parents. Very, very lucky to have that. I am very, very grateful to all the people involved in making that happen, because not many people are lucky to have that. But then look at my mum's generation. Her siblings are still stuck in the refugee camp. My parents' siblings, they're all there. My paternal and maternal uncles and all my cousins are still stuck in the refugee camp. Nearly 40 years still.
Are you in contact with them?
Oh, yeah. Very regularly. I didn't have the privilege of sort of spending my teenage years with them because of the distance, so we try as best to keep in touch.
And why the UK? Why did you come to the UK?
No particular reason. It was mostly due to the United Nations Gateway Protection Program, and there were many countries involved at the time. Ireland, UK, Norway, Denmark, Canada, Australia, New Zealand are very popular ones. We were one of the first batches to leave the refugee camp. The UK was just randomly allocated to us. But then my siblings came because we were here. And specifically why Bradford? Because Bradford was the only city who agreed to take the Rohingyas who initially came here.
Go Bradford!
Go Bradford!
Thank you, Sirazul, for sharing your stories, your dreams, your hopes, your reality, your advocacy, your actions, everything.
Thank you, Zoe. I think you've asked some brilliant questions and thought-provoking questions as well, and I hope the audience takes something away from this. If nothing, then the fact or the importance of identity, but also the importance of giving an opportunity to a community who has been refused for far too long. And thank you to all the people who have made this happen, to Bradford Made, to City of Culture, and to SBC more importantly.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
दिले ढाके ले तुम्हारे ओ जा